fire station. We're here today to talk about fire safety because every October we celebrate Fire Prevention Week, right? Yep. And so this year the topic is on fire safety in the kitchen. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later on here. But for now, I want to just go over a couple of things with you guys about general fire safety. There's a lot of things that we do in our homes, at places where we work, firefighters do, because every day is fire safety day, right? So we always want to be careful. And this year we're going to talk a little bit more about fire safety in the kitchen. So in a little while we'll go through and we'll show you safe ways to be around hot things in the kitchen, because you've got your stove and oven like we have here. You have some other things that might be on the counter that are hot. What would one of those things be?
A toaster.
A toaster oven, that's right. Toaster ovens are one of the most dangerous things in the kitchen also. With all appliances, we want them to be unplugged when they're not in use. Okay? So are there, before we get started here, are there any questions that you guys might have that you've been thinking about? What is the fire triangle? The fire triangle is fuel, heat, and oxygen. Those are three things that it takes to make something burn. So in this instance, if we had something on the stove, whatever was in that kettle would be the fuel, and the heat would come from the cooking element on the stove, and then oxygen is in the air. So it takes all three of those things to make the fire go. So when we put a fire out, you're taking away one or all of those things out of it. Good question. Yes, your question?
How many fire trucks?
Here at the Clear Lake Fire Department, we have 7 fire trucks.
How old is the fire station?
Well, the Clear Lake Fire Department was started in 1890. So it's 130 years old this year. That's a long time.
What do you do every spring and fall?
Every spring and fall, we like to remind everyone to check their smoke alarm batteries, carbon monoxide batteries, and their fire extinguishers. So when you go home tonight, we want everyone to check with their parents and make sure that smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms have been checked and their batteries have been changed. And also check your fire extinguishers and make sure that they're ready to go and in their proper location.
Are we still doing fire posters this year?
Yes, school kids are still doing their fire prevention posters this year. With our theme, that is our theme. It doesn't have to be about the theme, like your teachers talked to you about. They're due later on this month. And the firefighters, as we have in the past few years, several years, we will judge them and send them on to the state competition. So yes, there are fire prevention posters that are being completed this year.
Welcome back to our outdoor fire department kitchen. So we're going to continue to talking a little bit about fire safety today. And we have our stove is cooking. We're going to cook up some soup here at the fire department today. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with our situation on our stove right now?
The handle is sticking out.
The handle is sticking out. That is correct. All of our handles should be pointing in. Why do we want that, guys? So that somebody doesn't come up and knock it off on accident?
Or get burned.
Or get burned. Very good. Very good.
What if it's near another pan and we can't get near?
Well, if it's too hot, then you need to shut your burners off, let it cool down, and then move it. Or use a hot pad. All right. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this scenario?
Why am I too close to the I was gonna say that.
That is correct. Liam is very close to the stove. We like to have a 3-foot kid-free zone around our hot cooking surfaces. So if Liam was going to be in the kitchen, Liam should be back that far from our cooking stove so that he doesn't get hurt, burned, or something doesn't happen to him. Alright, so for our next demonstration, we have a fire that is going on in that pot. So who knows how we could put that fire out without water, without a fire extinguisher, without using anything other than what's around you? Andy, could you show us what to do? So Andy's coming from the side with the lid. He's going to put the lid on it because, as you remember, as TJ talked about the fire triangle, we just removed the oxygen from that fire situation. So that will take off the fire. The other thing to do is, after you put the lid on, is to make sure that is off. The burner is off, so we're not providing any heat.
What is that? What is that?
Fire's out. Welcome back. We are now talking about fire extinguisher safety in our kitchen. Each kitchen should have a fire extinguisher in it to prevent any further damage from a fire that may happen on our stove. So we have Andy and Evelyn are going to show us how to run our fire extinguisher. So the fire extinguisher, we run them on a program called PASS. PASS stands for pull the pin. Evelyn already pulled her pin. Then we aim, the A is for aim, so we aim at where our fire is. Then we squeeze the fire extinguisher, and then we sweep at the base of the fire. That's how we put a fire out with our fire extinguisher. Alright, we have a live fire, and Andy's going to help us demonstrate how to use a fire extinguisher to put out the fire in a real situation. He has pulled the pin, he's aiming. He didn't have to sweep very much, he squeezed, and the fire's out. It does not take a lot to put the fire out. Alright, well, thank you for being with us today, and thank you to the Clear Lake Fire Department for showing us a few kitchen safety fire tips for this Fire Prevention Week in 2020. Our students here have a few messages for us to take home and remember. Alice, what is your message?
Changing batteries.
Check your fire extinguishers.
Check your smoke alarms. Malfunctions.
Thank you very much, and have a safe fall and winter, and we'll see you next year.